Also in Washington, Congressman Darrell Issa of California. He is the ranking Republican on the House Committee on Oversight and Government Reform, which is conducting today's hearings a little bit later on today. Congressman, good morning.
Good morning.
I want to repeat back to you some of the testimony from yesterday. This comes from Jim Lentz, who's the top salesman from Toyota. He says, we need to continue to be vigilant and continue to investigate all the complaints that we've gotten from consumers, that we've done a relatively poor job of doing that in the past. As you look through all of this material from Toyota, they have almost treated some of these complaints from consumers as a nuisance. Do you think Toyota gets it now?
Well, that's one of the things we're going to want to see today. We're going to want to see if they live up to even what they're saying in their commercials right now, which is that good companies fix their mistakes, great companies learn from them.
The other question that comes to mind that you may have heard during Dean's piece is there feels like there may also be a breakdown on the governmental level, that the agency involved in monitoring this and watchdogging this stuff is almost in compliance with Toyota not doing the job it should have been doing. Would you agree with that?
Absolutely. There's no question that NHTSA is both guilty of welcoming in its revolving door former employees and in case after case abandoning investigations that they'd already decided had some merit.
The other question that comes to mind is you have ties to the auto industry clearly from the industry that you created with anti-theft devices in cars. There are plenty of people in Congress who have ties to the auto industry. There's some skepticism in the public that you are capable of doing the job you need to do today.
Well, I think anyone who has ever been a first or second tier supplier to the auto companies knows that more than anything else, we who have done that want to see things straighten out in the auto companies. Although we made our livings from them, we're very aware of some of the shortcomings in Detroit, in Dearborn, and in this case in Japan.
And the other skepticism comes from people who say, well, Congress has a vested interest because now the American people own a big chunk of GM to be bullying Toyota now because it's in the best interest to bolster GM. Do you put any grain of salt in that?
Oh, absolutely. I believe that we have to really push back on the tendency to support an American brand, American unions, and American tax dollars that are invested at General Motors. But to do the right thing, we have to admit that Toyota is simply the anecdotal example today. This isn't the first recall that was too long in coming in the auto industry, and unless we make changes, it won't be the last.
All right. Congressman Darrell Issa, we appreciate your time this morning. Thank you, sir.
You're always welcome.
All right.